Hi there, I'm Annie Jones and welcome to Get Modern. Today I'm starting a new series of videos where I look at the Microsoft Guided Scenarios. Guided Scenarios are a customized set of steps to simplify the setup of profiles, settings, applications and security, and they help you really by allowing you to do a quick and easy way for deployment and testing, especially when you're not familiar with the steps or resources within the Microsoft Endpoint Manager. There are 4 of the scenarios currently available, as you can see on the list here, and today we're going to look at the secure Microsoft Office for mobile. So let's get into it. So to begin with, I wanted to go to the Microsoft website here. It's a good source of information on their documentation and particularly gives you a description of what's included with these guided scenarios, remembering they're there to help you get up and running really quickly, but it gives you a definition of what's included. Now with the secure Microsoft Office mobile apps guided scenario, you get a number of settings that are enabled that are shrink wrapped within a wizard that you run through within the Microsoft Endpoint Manager. And you've got things like block access to work files if the device is offline for 722 minutes, remove work files if the device is offline for 90 days. But in essence, what you've got is adding a security layer around your corporate applications and the data that's created with them. The idea being that you're preventing that data from being leaked into other applications such as Facebook or local storage. So we're going to go through this, setting this up, and we're then going to go through a demonstration and test this working. Okay, so we've hopped into the Microsoft Endpoint Manager Admin Center here, and the option you want to take is you go into troubleshooting and support, then you choose the guided scenarios. Now, as it said, this is still in preview, but obviously you're likely to be using this in a test scenario just to get familiar with the settings that are deployed. So it gives you an estimate of time to complete, which is 15 minutes, and this is a wizard for setting all the policies and settings up. So we're going to hit that and hit the start. It goes through some of the information here, some of the benefits and the impact. What this essentially will do will create 2 policies, 2 application protection policies, one for iOS and one for Android. It may be you're only interested in one of these, but we'll go through and see how you can edit and amend these afterwards. So it gives you some introduction information there. Then the basics. So you want to give it a name, so I'm going to call it App Protects Android. I'll skip the description. And then it gives you a list of the applications. So these are the applications that the application protection policies are going to protect. By default, it's got the Microsoft applications here, but you can go ahead and select other applications as long as you've got them, you've already synchronized them into a Microsoft Endpoint Manager. And it's worth mentioning, obviously, they need to be policy managed apps which are compatible with app protection policies from Microsoft. I'll just select one here. For example, I can add Adobe, the Adobe Reader. These are applications, like I say, that I've synchronized already, so I could add these in here. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go with the Microsoft default applications and hit the next. Now within configuration, you've got 2 levels of configuration. You've got the basic data protection and the enhanced data protection. I'm going to select the enhanced purely because it expands the breadth of security that's deployed over the basic protection. And for me, I think it's always wise to kind of use or test out the enhanced security. You can always scale back later if you need to. You'll then be going to the assignments, and you can add your groups here. So I'm going to add a group, which is my application protection group. Where we got that? we have that, the app protect GS, so I'm going to select that group there, and then effectively you're going to hit the next, and where you review and then create the policies. So you can see automatically you've got an app protect Android app protection and an app protect Android iOS application. Okay, these are the two policies that have been created. Now I can access those directly, where I can then go into the properties of these, and you can see you've got the basic information, you've got the apps, the device types, but you've got the public apps that are looking to be protected, and then you've got the protection settings that are being deployed. Now if you want to, and you're familiar with some of these settings, you can go in and change them yourself. So for example, backup all data to Android backup services, you might want to allow that as part of your test scenario. One of the key kind of settings though is the restrict, cut, copy and paste between other applications. So this is specifically relevant to when you've got the BYOD devices. Say you've got an employee that wants to register the device within Endpoint Manager, only access the corporate applications that you're protecting, but you want to make sure that none of that corporate data is leaked into their personal applications. So it might be they've got an Outlook, another Outlook account other than the corporate one, and you don't want that data swapping between those. You want to contain that information, and sometimes it's not necessarily deliberate by end users, but you want to add that layer of security just to be sure. Okay, so once these have been deployed, and I'll show you another way of getting at them. If you go into apps and then app protection policies, and you can see this is where they've been created. It's showing that they've been deployed, gives you the time, the platform, and it may be that you want to delete one of these, like I say, if it's not appropriate, and it's showing you how many apps that they're looking to protect. So in a nutshell, from a wizard perspective, that's it. At that point, obviously you'll want to go into a specific device, be it a BYOD device, and test these scenarios to make sure that there is no data leakage within those applications. That's what we're going to do next. But before we do that, I just want to make sure that obviously in order to do the protection of these applications, you will need to make sure that these applications are available. So if it was an Android device you wanted to test, for example, you need to make sure that the applications that you're looking to protect have been synchronized and are available for those individual users that will be logging on. Okay, so with that, we'll switch over and do a test of this deployment. Okay, so we've got a simulation going on here of my Android device, and we're going to do a demonstration and test these policies coming through to my device. The first thing we want to do is go ahead and download the company portal app from the Google Store, Play Store. And what we're going to do is sign in with an account that we've got registered within Azure Active Directory. I've got one set up, so I'll just go ahead and quickly log on. I need to do an update because it's the first time I'm logging on with this account. Then I'm going to download this application. It will go through and ask for setting up the profile and all the settings. It shows you what settings that will be applied. It will look to for acceptance for this work profile, and it'll go ahead and download and install that. So the device has been enrolled. I'm going to go back into the company portal app just to make sure that the settings are there. You can see I've got the you can see my device, and you can see I can look at the usage state, data, etc. Okay, so I'm going to go back out of the company portal app at this point. And the next thing we're going to do is go ahead and open the Outlook application. Now, the Outlook application is one which has been downloaded, it's been applied through the Endpoint Manager, and I have the license for Office on the logon that I've signed in with here. And as you can see, I've got the little briefcase around the application there, so that's telling me that it's a protected app, and this is a corporate protected app that I'm using here. So it's not a personal app, even though this is a personal Android device. So I'm going to go ahead and log on to that Outlook application. It's going to be the first time I'm doing that. So I need to add the account using the same email address. When you're first logging on to the account, you will need to go through some security checks potentially, and obviously that will then register within Endpoint Manager that I've downloaded and I've installed this application to be protected. So it's the first time. I'm going to skip this focus inbox, and it's asking me to set up or double check the access through the safety net check of Google. I'm going to hit that recheck, and hopefully that will then approve me and I'll be able to continue. I can continue now. I've got access, and I'm going to go back into Outlook, pick an email that already exists. I'm going to select some of the data, so I've got try and copy this text to a corporate app. I'll copy that text, and then I'm going to go out of Outlook and select a personal application, notebook free here. I'm going to try and paste that text into this personal application. As you can see, it's saying your organization data cannot, and basically it's saying it's because it's in the title, you can't see the full text, but it's saying your organization data cannot be copied here. Okay, so that's successful. It's not allowing me therefore to copy any data from that protected Outlook account and application into a personal application. So that app protection policy is in force, and it's not allowing me to leak any information out of that corporate application. So for our next test, I'm going to go ahead and open the Word app, which is another corporate application that's protected. You can see it had the briefcase around it. This time I'm going to open a Word document. I'm going to copy this text here. This is a test. I'm going to then go back out into the same personal application, Notepad free, and try and copy and paste this text in. This time we're doing the description, and you can see the organization data cannot be pasted here. So again, it's failed. I cannot copy or leak that data out into a personal app. This time I've still got that data copied, but I'm going to go back into the Outlook application, which again obviously is a protected application this time. So I'm going to copy from a protected application into another protected application. So let's open an email here. In the subject, I'm going to try and paste it in, and there you can see that was successful. So it has successfully copied from a protected app to another protected app, so which is what it should do. For my last test here, I'm going to open the last of the protected applications. We're going to open Edge, the Edge browser. Going to go to some website and pick some information here. Pick one of the selections on the screen, so I'll go for electronic keyboard, and we'll pick the title. We'll copy that, and we're going to try and copy that in and paste that back into the Notepad free application, which is a personal one. Again, what we should see that this will fail. So we'll paste that, and you can see the organization data cannot be pasted. So one more time, we've gone from a protected application into a non-protected application, and it wouldn't allow us to leak that data. So we've been through setting up the Microsoft Guided Scenarios for the secure Microsoft Office for mobile here. This is one of the guided scenarios currently available. We've set that up within Microsoft Endpoint Manager. We've looked at some of the settings and specifically deployed this to a personal Android device. The last of which we did some tests, copying and pasting data from personal or from corporate managed apps into personal apps and within two protected applications. Hopefully this has given you a good insight into how you can deploy this, how you can test this, and gives you an easy way to get up and running very quickly. In our next video, we will look at the deployment of the Microsoft Edge for mobile and look at some specific details around that in our next guided scenario option. Thanks very much. Like and subscribe if you like this, and hopefully we'll see you again.